Well, Stoke have simultaneously done us a massive favour whilst also taking any excitement out of the final episode of the season. The monsters. Hello and welcome to part 134 of Backing the Boro. I'm Kev and we're safe in the Premier League. Coming up on today's episode, we have our final two games of the season. We're at home against both West Ham and Tottenham. And it's all because of Stoke's incompetence. They've played between our last two games. I mean, our running has been shocking. We haven't won in the league since we beat Chelsea on the 11th of February, and only two of those runs of not winning have been draws. In our most recent games, we drew at Crystal Palace and Watford to pick up two massively important points as we move into the business end of the season. But it seems that while we've been absolutely rubbish, Stoke have been just as rubbish and lost. When did they lose? They lost to Crystal Palace. We must have played. When did we play? I'm so confused, but we haven't played since then, on the 28th of April. Since then, there's been a lot of Premier League games. So they played then and lost to Chelsea, and then they played again there and lost to Crystal Palace. And the moral of the tale is we've got two games left. They've only got one game left. We're 5 points clear of them, so we're safe. Hurrah! Well, I mean, I'm completely vindicated. We're awesome. There was never anything to worry about. Forget about runs of bad results. There's obviously a lot of work to do this summer. But for now, we're going to play our two final home games of the season. Probably lose them both spectacularly. As you can see, we lost... where are they? There's Tottenham earlier in the season. Lost 5-2 away. West Ham, we actually beat away from home. So you never know. We might be able to beat West Ham. It's really unlikely, though. So this is the team that we're putting out there as we start to try and get an idea in my mind what we need to do in the summer when it comes to transfer business. And I think the moral of the tale is we need to do everything. I don't know why we haven't had our transfer budgets come through yet. Normally, once it confirms what division you're going to be in next season, they arrive. So I'm guessing we're having to wait until the end of the season. Chris Ruggles is on the transfer list, but we're giving him a game. He's only on the transfer list because he was grumpy. I'd quite happily keep him at the club. Sean Hull's now moved up to team leader status. So Ruggles was a team leader, got grumpy, so we dropped him to the reserves and put him on the transfer list. For these last couple of games, I've just opened up every squad and I've just hit quick pick just to see how I've been going wrong, how this differs from the teams that I've been playing. And the main difference is Ruggles, really. Other than that, it's pretty similar to the team I've been playing recently. Betting as well hasn't been in, but that they might just be picking him because Robertson's suspended because he was sent off in the last game. But by and large, it's pretty much the team I've been playing anyway. So we've got Egan in goal, a back four of Bettin, Taggart, Holmqvist and Galliano, with Peleso, Mulan and Barron in midfield and Earl in behind Brown. And Ruggles, who I guess he's got, I don't know if I want to say two games. He's got at least one game to convince me not to sell him and convince me he can be part of our Premier League squad for next season. If Ruggles grabs a couple of goals over these couple of games, we might take him off the list, bring him back into the first team squad and tell him he just needs to not be a troublemaker next year. Because that's just been the problem with him this year. He was terrible. He played almost every game for the first half of the season. Was terrible. We dropped him for only about a month. He was out of the team. And then he started causing trouble because he wanted to be playing every week. Well, Chris, I'm sorry. If you want to play every week, you need to not be rubbish. It's quite simple. I know you might look at other parts of the squad and say, but that's just not true. Yeah, you're looking at the goalkeepers. You're looking at pretty much every striker we've got at the club. We haven't had a consistent goal scorer all season, which it's always been our strength in the past, scoring goals. And this year we have really been struggling. Even in this game, half an hour in, we've only had 2 shots in the entire game so far, despite having more possession than West Ham. We're just not creating chances. So I don't know if that's a problem that necessarily even comes from the strikers. It could be that our midfield just hasn't got that James Ball creative spark in it that we need to be able to create enough chances for our forwards. But certainly when the chances are created, they're missing them as well. I mean, it's not going to be rocket science again. It's not going to be a surprise to anyone if I say we don't really have any players good enough for this division. We've massively overperformed this season. It's been a huge achievement staying in the Premier League. I think it's almost certain we get relegated next year. Very similar to how when we went up to the Championship, we had a good start and sort of rode it for the rest of the season, but then it all started to go wrong and we started the next season and were terrible, got relegated. It seems like we're following a similar shape again. We're going to need a very, very special transfer window to survive in the Premier League again next year. And I don't know that we're going to be able to be given enough money to have the kind of transfer window that we need, because we need 20 million pound players to start looking like a Premier League team. And it might be they're about to give me 100 million quid, in which case, huzzah. But we need to get rid of all of the dead wood, which is, I mean, it is what we did in our Championship relegation season. We might have been terrible on the pitch, but we put a lot of good work in place off the pitch so that when we did come back up, we were ready to come back up and then challenge at the top half of the league in our first season back. So if we can repeat that again, it will be positive, but obviously we want to repeat it without getting relegated next year, if we can at all manage it. It's not at the end of the world if we get relegated next season, though. There is still time. I think, here you go, let's throw this out here. I think we'll be in the Champions League within 5 seasons. And some of you might think, yeah, Kev, you're in the Premier League already. 5 seasons is forever. I say to you all again, because I got quite a lot of heat in the comments on Friday, I'll just remind everybody again, we're Nuneaton in the Premier League. So if we ever get Champions League football, that's just ridiculous. If we get it within 5 years of this season, when we've been pathetic, then I think it's a matter. Look at the worst teams in the Premier League this season. Who finished 17th in the Premier League this season? I have no idea. But do you think they're going to be in the Champions League in 5 years? No, of course you don't. So, yeah, I think we will. Even if we get relegated, we'll still be in the Champions League in 5 years. Whew, made a rod for my own back there. And there's a nice typical Nuneaton goal to concede. Ball over the top. And bang. It's in. That's how we concede our goals, everybody. No, I'm not going to drop my defensive line. I like playing football this way. We've had bad seasons before, and we've proven that if we just persevere and improve the players, then the system works. If we have good players, this system works. The only reason it hasn't worked this season is because we're trying to do it with League One and Championship players. What we need to do is try and do it with Championship and Premier League players, which is hopefully what we'll start to move towards over the course of the summer. So make those 2 changes. Llewellyn is an example of a player who we probably just need to move on. He came in over the summer. He's one of the ones my director of football brought in. I've never really given him much of a chance because we've had Earl and Del Gaudio. But, yeah, he's not a Premier League player. So he needs to move on, along with a whole lot of the rest of this team. I think our defence is generally okay. If we can sign Maurice King permanently, then I think defender-wise we're set. Goalkeepers, I think Zakwani, once he learns English, might stop being quite as erratic as he is. So I think Zakwani and Egan as goalkeeper options, I think we're probably okay for goalkeepers for the first time ever. The midfield, I think the fact we're still having to play the likes of Barron and Levi Hayes suggests we probably need some midfield players. I don't know if they're good enough to be in the Premier League. Brown did well there, so maybe a midfielder or 2, proper Premier League quality midfielder or 2 need to come in. Maybe. Earl, I don't know. Earl and Del Gaudio, as good as they've looked at times, we're not creating enough chances, and a lot of that has to go on those 2. So if we can sign a good quality attacking midfielder, I won't object. And the strikers, I could probably happily let all of them go and try. Oh, I mean, that's rubbish. But I could happily let all the strikers go and replace them with 3 or 4 Premier League goal scorers, because that's what they're likely to be able to do. No, realistically, we need a couple of players who can score goals at this level. I mean, that's pathetic from Taggart and Holmqvist. Just really, really poor. We looked, I don't want to say we looked good, but we were ahead in this game, which is unusual for us. But no, we've managed to just buffoon it up at the end with some terrible defending. Never mind. It's been the story of our season. Even when we get ourselves into a good position, we somehow find a way to just throw it away. Usually it's by giving away a penalty. Today it's with an absolutely incompetent piece of defending. But in my defence, West Ham were playing 3 up front because they're cheats. Oh, they were only one place above us in the league. We really should have beaten them, shouldn't we? Who cares? We're in the Premier League next year. Let's go lose to Tottenham now. A number of changes for the Tottenham game then, mainly because this time we hit the little arrow next to quick pick and went for more rotation. We initially looked at full rotation, but that brought an injured Lee Hugo into goal and some fella I've never heard of in midfield. So we've gone more rotation, which gives us this team, which, I mean, it looks fine. Let's just get into the game. Staff news. We're going to lose again. Oh, they're playing a 3-4. Another team that's got 3 up front. Everyone's cheating against us at the moment. Perhaps we need to just accept that in the Premier League, everybody cheats and plays 3 strikers. And we've just got to do it. Even though we don't have 2 decent strikers, the solution can't be to get a third on. But maybe that's exactly what we have to do. Staff news. Joe Anderson. Should be Sir Joe Anderson. But Joe Anderson, who... we appointed as our under-18s manager last season, is being linked to the Oxford manager's job. I have identified a potential replacement for him as under-18s manager if he goes, because now, showing up on my favoured personnel list, manager list thing, is none other than Luca Ercolani. So, if Joe Anderson does move on and start his own managerial career, which I'd like to think in 5 years' time, me and Joe Anderson are battling it out in the Premier League as managers of rival teams. But Luca Ercolani could be making his return to the club finally after, what's it been, 12 years? 13 years since he last played for us, because he had that whole year where he just had to sit on the sidelines because of no work permit. But 12 years since he left, he could be making his glorious return as our under-18s manager. Werner, what's he going to do? Back to Robertson, forward towards Werner again. I've got Werner playing as the target man because I couldn't be bothered to change him to complete forward. And there's Chris Ruggles saying, there you go, boss. How many did you say I needed? There's one against the team that are going to finish in a Champions League spot. See, I can do it in the Premier League. My response to you, Christopher, is, why didn't you then? We wouldn't be in this pickle if you'd have scored 20 goals this season. But that is a good header. I'll let him have that. That is an acceptable header. But we've been down this road before. We all know full well that we get ourselves into decent positions and then find a way to throw it all away. So presumably that's what we're going to do here. Del Gaudio makes the tackle and... Tottenham just keep holding the ball because it was a terrible tackle. Etchebay forward towards Ruggles, but it doesn't quite get there. And we're going back to normal standards of stuff now. We make an interception, we make a tackle, but somehow end up not with the ball at the end of it. And Tottenham just get to knock it round nicely around their defence. We do still look like a League One team playing against Premier League opposition at times, which is kind of what we are in a lot of places. What just happened? So penalty then. I don't even know what for, but... obviously, we give away a penalty because that's all we've done all season is give away penalties. And I can't even begin to think what that one might have been for. But Zakwani goes the right way but doesn't actually get anywhere near it. And 10 minutes on the clock and it's 1-1. Please stop giving away penalties, you absolute morons. I guess it was Holmqvist who gave it away because he's the one sat there on a 6.3, whereas everyone else is on 6.7s. But... I don't know. I have absolutely no idea what he could possibly have done to give that penalty away. Another thing as well, a few of you have asked, and I'm sure more of you will ask in today's comments, whether I'm going to do a live transfer window tomorrow. I ordinarily would, but with it being the summer holidays and the kids being off and it being my son's birthday as well, it's just not going to happen. So I'm going to sit and play through the transfer window this afternoon and just do a normal episode tomorrow. Live streaming in general is always a little bit tricky during the summer holidays, particularly during the day. So I need to try and spend as little time out here as I possibly can because I need to be in the house doing dad things. Ruggles played really well there again towards Werner. Werner tucks it away. I mean, there was a little bit of a suggestion of offside, I think, but Werner and Ruggles, this is the first time they've played together. They're actually looking like quite a decent partnership. It almost makes me think, maybe we give this... if we had another 3 games to give this a try for a little bit longer, maybe this is the partnership we've been looking for all year. Werner now finds Palacio. Del Gaudio. Ruggles is in again and scores again. Chris Ruggles, who is on the transfer list because I got annoyed with him, has 2 goals and an assist against Champions League team Tottenham. And not only that, he's combining nicely with our expensive new striker that we bought in January. I think we might have to take Chris Ruggles off a transfer list. Can he do this regularly, though? That's the big question. Is he just playing out of his skin because he's on the transfer list and doesn't want to leave? Werner's doing really well as a target man. It's got to be said. Forget this complete forward nonsense. He's holding the ball up nicely. It's Werner again, finds Ruggles again. How much of today's performance is down to Chris Ruggles and how much of it is Werner just having an absolutely superb performance? And the two of them combine again, and we're beating Tottenham 4-1 after half an hour. We look like Nuneaton again. This is what happens when we get strikers who can perform. This is what happens. And that's beautiful from Venner. What a header. Right, forget complete forward nonsense. Venner is a target man. And now we just have to work out if Ruggles is as good as he looks today or if Venner's making him look good. Because we know Venner should have the ability to be a Premier League player. It's Ruggles we have the question marks over, but Venner was signed on the basis that he had Premier League potential, which maybe today's the day he's decided to reveal that potential to us all. Higgins now, what's he going to do? Plays it forward towards Venner. I mean, it's an easy outlet. Just try and hit Venner. Although it is Ruggles who's chasing it. Venner's dropped a little bit deeper. And Tottenham are able to build from the back because we're a little bit out of shape and all over the place here. I don't really know what's caused that. I think we tried to break quickly and we just don't have the players to do it. And it has led to a second goal for Tottenham and we were completely powerless to stop that. But, come on, new tactic. Just kick the ball at Venner's head and let him do whatever he wants to do with it once it gets there. This is good value for our last game of the season. 4-2 after 34 minutes. There's more goals in this yet, boys and girls. Higgins to Del Gaudio. Venner. Back to Higgins again. Del Gaudio again. We're actually passing the ball around. Venner finds Ruggles. I'm saying Venner so much. I like this man. He's become my friend today. I am a fan of Jose Venner. And it's 4-3 and Zaquani there. I mean, we spent £4 million on that man. And I don't think he's ever played in goal before. Wowzers. This is just poor. It's poor all round, but Zaquani doesn't even try and save it. Just, whatever. It's the last day of the season. I'm not that bothered. So 4-3 on 35 minutes. Could we finally, after so long waiting on FM18, could today be the day we finally get the mythical 6-6 that we got so often on FM17 and we still haven't had a 6-6 yet this year? If there's ever been a game set up for it, it's this one. 4-3 at half time. Just keep doing what you're doing, lads. We want 2 more goals for us and 3 more for them because finishing on a 6-6 would be delicious. Right, let's see how. I mean, surely Tottenham have been absolutely destroyed at half-time by their manager for conceding 4 goals against us because we are rubbish, and they're gonna come out and try and destroy us. Etchebe's gonna get himself sent off here. No, good. They've got Jay Anderson at left back. I remember those days. What a wonderful time for us all. Etchebe tries to head clear. He's picked up an injury as well now, so we probably need to take him off. I think we've got Galliano on the bench, and that's 4-4, and it's more pathetic defending. It's because I said our defenders are fine. That's exactly what it is. Our defenders generally have been fine for a little while. But today, in both of these episodes, they've been hideous. And this is just another example of it. I don't even know what Robertson was thinking, but we had time to recover through Taggart, and I don't know what he was thinking. And yeah, that was just very, very poor. Higgins is having a terrible game. We probably need to get him off sooner rather than later. Should we do a triple substitution with half an hour to go? I don't think we've ever done a triple this early before. But Higgins has been awful. Let's get Mulan on for him. Etchebe needs to come off because he's it wasn't Taggart, it was Morris King. Well, let's get Taggart on then for Holmqvist. I thought Taggart was number 4. Shows what I know. There you go. Taggart can come on to play against his former club for half an hour. Probably score a spectacular own goal. Or it might set him up for a winner from a corner, which would be lovely. Zaquani has realised he can use his hands to touch the ball and collects it there. Half an hour to go then. The substitutions, have they even been made yet? I don't think they have. And Tottenham are coming at us again, and I think this is probably number 5 on its ring. So our number 4 is Holmqvist, isn't it? Who was rubbish, and it's 5-4 on the hour mark. Tottenham have been rampant in the second half. And I don't remember saying the names of either of our strikers since half-time. The ball's not getting anywhere near them again. I don't want to see another of your pesky goals. Yes, make the tactical changes. It's too little too late for the defence, who've already been ripped apart. Taggart tries to clear, and it ends up with Robertson, who's just pathetic. And that's number 6 for Tottenham. So now it's all on us. Tottenham have done their part. We just need Ruggles and Venner to both complete their hat-tricks, and we get a 6-6. But something tells me Tottenham aren't going to stop scoring goals anytime soon, because they have they're having a fun day. A very fun day, the Tottenham forwards. Oh, and here they come again. Please, can we just try and make a save? Robertson, with the chance now to try and build something, I mean, oh no. Sequani made a save. I don't even know how to commentate on this at this point. This is ridiculous. Tottenham coming at us again. And Sequani makes another quality save. Spurs have had 7 clear-cut chances to our 2. The fact that we were ever even in this game massively flattered us. But it's Ruggles with the cross. There's no one in the middle. Werner had a good half and has now gone back to the Werner that we all know and love over the course of the 10, 12 games we've seen him play now. Oh, dearie me. And Tottenham are just running around as if we're not there again. I said at the start of this match, it's like watching a Premier League team play against League One opposition. And then we scored 4 goals. But now it looks exactly like that again. We are not getting anywhere near the ball. Right, Werner doesn't find a blue shirt. And Spurs just clear again. But it only goes as far as Robertson, who... It doesn't know what to do with it. Nobody knows what to do. Robertson, just kick it forward. Tag it, kick it forward. Robertson, kick it forward. There we go. It's Werner to chase. He beats his man for pace. That's got to be a penalty. Apparently, it doesn't have to be a penalty because he wasn't fouled. And now Tottenham just slice through our midfield again as if they're not there. And now they're going to destroy our fullback as if he's not there. And yeah, I mean, we're supposed to be playing a pressing game. We're just not getting anywhere near them when they've got the ball. And now they've hit the post. Yikes. 15 minutes left. It is all on us. We need 2 goals to get our first 6-6 draw of FM18. And it's now looking increasingly unlikely as time is just slipping away from us. At least we remembered how to score goals on the last day of the season. But other than that, that has exposed a few defensive frailties. Just a few. There you have it. We didn't get our 6-6. Tommy Taggart was delighted. I'm glad you were delighted, Tommy. You're part of a defence that's conceded 6 goals. Yikes. There is much, much work to do over this summer. I'm going to have a busy day. Do we have a transfer budget here somewhere? No. We've been fined again. I mean, we may as well just have that on standing order. We pay that fine most weeks. Werner ended his goal drought. Yay. Oh, I didn't mean to say that. I don't want to go and manage another club. But, I don't know, perhaps it will spark the players into life. Yeah, let's just tick all these. I just want to see my transfer budgets. Yeah, they got stuck in. Yeah, it's all very good. Yep. Transfer budgets, please. I want to know just how difficult this summer is going to be. We've got £25 million in the bank and another £90 million season of Premier League money to come. Eddie Howe's only just now been sacked by Bournemouth and they didn't get relegated. So they've kept him on for like 20 years. And this season was the year a mid-table finish wasn't enough for Bournemouth. How very odd. Yeah, very good. Do we get budgets? I mean, record number. We only drew 3 games this season. 2 of them were in the last couple of games. That's mad. So until those last 4 games, we'd only had 1 draw all year. Imagine if we'd have just ground out a few draws when we got defeats. We'd have been safe months before. Can we have the budgets now, please? Why? Are they going to sack me? Is that why they're holding out on budgets? Because they're not planning on letting me spend them, so they don't want me to know what they are. Right, here we go. End of season awards. Brown gets player of the year. Well, he's not likely to be here next year. Holmqvist signing of the season. Shows how good the signings were in general. I mean, he'll come good, but he hasn't been good this season. Season review, yes. I think we overachieved. We absolutely overachieved. Our team of 2020, not many of them still exist. Joe Anderson is the only player still at the club, and he won't be here for much longer. Squad dynamics, yeah, whatever. Next season, we just want to stay up. Every single hard battle against relegation again next year. Let's have some passion with Sean Hull. And we're still not getting their budgets, are we? Let's improve our training facilities. Yep, they're going to do that. Good. Yeah, that's fine. Training facilities work has begun. Can we have the transfer budgets now, please? Yes, it's good that we're doing that. Barron wants to go to Villa. I mean, if they're going to give me £6.5 million for Barron, he can go. Levi Hayes also wants to leave. He's our captain now. Here we go, finally. What do we think? I think if we're going to stay up, we need £50 million to do it. Any less than that and expect relegation. I'm not looking. Is it good? is going to be an interesting summer. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.